All right, so I got the power steering pump bracket done, painted up. I think it looks good.
Oh, yeah.
So the way it works is it's going to pivot off this bottom bolt here, and it'll sweep through this distance. It's about 3 inches or so, and that's the adjustment. I TIG welded these spacers in place, which are the 1 inch by 1/4 inch wall DOM tubing.
This is the bracket you made yesterday?
Yeah, on the plasma cutter. Then I just painted it, TIG welded on both sides.
Show us.
See?
Nice.
And then now I'll have to mount it to the block. Got some ARP bolts. I had these already. It just so happened that they worked out. But isn't it cool how ARP bolts make everything look good?
Yeah. It's the
12 point.
Yeah, the 12 point.
So I'm gonna put this in real quick, and then now once this is installed, we can start running the plumbing for the intercooler, which Andrew's gonna be working on. But we can't do that until this is in place. I don't think we had a chance to talk about the actual engine. So the motor is big box Chevy, obviously. It's a 468. It's been in the car for, what do you think, 20 years? No, not 20 years, maybe 15 years? How old was Andrew when I built this motor? That's why I gauge everything off.
Which time?
I mean, he must have been
2?
2?
No more than 5, and he's 17, almost 18.
Because he didn't help me at all on it. So he must
He
have
was too busy rebuilding his own little remote control car motors.
I think he was 2. So it's at least 15 years old. The block is a 454 with a 4-bolt main. It has it's studded with ARP bolts. It has a, what's it? Mylodon, windage tray, oil pan, Clevite H series bearings. It has a Mylodon oil pump. The rods, the crankshaft is, it's a lightened, I think it's a scat forged, internal balanced. And then the rods are, what was in there? What rods were in there? The H series, not the H series, but the they're H-beam rods. I forget what the brand is. It's been a long time. And the pistons are probe forged pistons with 1/16 inch piston compression rings and 3/16 oil rings. The cam is a solid roller. It's a 268/850 on a 110 lobe center with a 650 lift, I believe. And the heads are Performer RPMs. They're ported with 219 valves on the intake, and what are they on the exhaust? I forget what the exhaust valves are. But solid roller. I have the comp cams, Magnum roller rockers with stud girdles, Victor Junior intake. It has a Holley X-Flow Terminator carburetor, or not carburetor, but fuel injection, which that's just going to help feed this beast. Did I miss anything?
No.
The compression's about 11.7. Or sorry, not 11.7, 10.7. I thought it was 11.7, but I went back to my notes and looked at what I did, and it's actually 10.7, which is good for this application. So I was worried about it. Now I could turn to boost. So the motor makes about 700 horsepower naturally aspirated. So the goal is to eventually, once everything is tuned, to get it to 14 pounds of boost or 15 pounds of boost, and that'll double the horsepower. So it should be about 1,400 horsepower. So that's if, I don't think the fuel system can keep up. I think probably the most I'll be able to get out of it is right now like 1,000 with that actual fuel pump. And then
your tank will be gone in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's a 15-gallon tank. I have the fuel system consists of, it's an AEM fuel pump.
Inline.
It's an inline fuel pump, and it has dash 8 fuel lines from front to rear. They're stainless steel, hard line. It has a Aeromotive boost reference regulator, so that's cool. So I can use that for the blower. Let's see what else. There are 2-inch primary tubes on the headers, going to a 3-inch exhaust.
With Super 10s.
Yeah, they're Super 10s mufflers, Flowmasters. Anything else? It has a P. Jackson gear drive timing set. Now it's really gonna be noisy with the blower. P. Jackson. A lot going on there.
The neighbors are gonna love it.
The transmission's a 5-speed. It's a Tremec TKO. It's a 600, or the 600. So I don't know how well the transmission is gonna hold up. It should be fine, but as long as I don't get crazy.
Yeah, just don't leave too hard.
Don't dump it in second gear. So yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, the motor's built for it, so shouldn't have any problems. The ring-in gaps are like, I think I made them at 22 thousandths, 24 thousandths. But that was 15 years ago. So they're nodular iron total seal rings, and I'm not really worried about them butting, but at some point I might have to pull the pistons and gap the rings if I really get crazy. So if I go to like, well, I'll probably end up getting a bigger supercharger. I'll give sell this supercharger to Andrew.
Procharger, yeah.
Oh yeah, Procharger, and then he'll put it on his truck, and I'll get something bigger, whatever. But yeah, so that's a basic motor.
That's not a basic motor.
No, that's basically what the motor is.
Okay.
It's pretty basic though. There's not a bunch to it. I mean, there's nothing crazy. Mostly off-the-shelf parts. I had to go through a lot of pain to get the crankshaft dialed in when I first bought it, and I put the motor together. The counterweights were hitting the bottoms of the pistons, and that was a problem. So what they had to do, because I ordered a neutral balance crankshaft, and they sent me something else. So they actually had to cut the weights down so that when the piston comes down, the crank goes up, the counterweights, it was hitting it. Yeah. So what I had to do is actually cut the crankshaft down, have it machined down, and then put Mallory metal in the crankshaft to get the weight that we needed, and also clear the pistons. Mm-hmm. So I think it was probably meant for a longer rod motor.
Like a stroker.
Yeah, but it is a cross-stroke crankshaft with the heavily radius fillet, so it's pretty strong. And big blocks, I mean, they can take, even the stock crankshaft that's cast can take a lot of abuse. So I'm not worried about that. The ignition system has a Mallory 6AL with a MSD distributor, and it's controlled by the sniper and fuel injection system. So yeah, anyways, that's what that is. Let me all right, well, that's enough about the motor. Let me see if I can mount this power steering pump. See how that looks. First leg. Yeah. So let's incorporate the V-band clamp about right here. bring it up about right here in this area. That way when I pull off the system, I don't have to take it.
Well, it's gotta
thing
go under
apart.
too.
Oh,
To
yeah,
here.
right here, actually. Right when it clears the frame rail.
Okay.
Different day?
Yeah.
It was a long day for you, huh? Is it?
Kinda.
Cool. All right, well, tomorrow, since I'm off work, I will polish this part of the, I don't know what it's called, like the housing. You keep calling it a turbo, but it's not. It looks like a turbo, but it's not. The compressor housing. And then I'll polish that. If I have time, I might start taking this apart.
Show me all that you accomplished today.
So, today was originally my day off.
No, it wasn't. You're supposed to be at work.
I know, but I scheduled it off so I could work on this. This is much more important than going to work. So I started out this morning by polishing the hat, which is this here. That was a kind of a pain in the ass because everything that's, well, at least this unit and this unit is they're cast aluminum, so they have casting flash on them. So in order for you to polish them, you have to knock all the roughness off of it, and then you can start polishing it. So that's what I did this morning. I looked like a coal miner. I was all black. So I polished the hat, sanded it. The process was, what did I use? It was 180 grit, followed by 240, followed by 400, followed by 600, and then I polished it. So I did that this morning, and then I worked on this compressor housing. So I got that all polished up, and then after that I worked on this. This is not cast, but it's billet, but there's a bunch of milling lines in it from the milling process. It was as rolled material. So what I did was sanded it with the same process as I did everything else, and then I polished it up. Pretty much took me all day, and then I painted this black.
Where'd you sand it all that?
In the backyard. It makes a mess, so I did it in the backyard. But that's how it's supposed to look, like that.
It's looking good.
So then I had to clock the compressor housing in the final location, so it's going to be like that. It'll be pointed down like that.
Okay.
It's pretty good, huh? I had to get all these little grooves. Man, it was a pain in the ass. So the next thing that needs to be done is to finish up the plumbing for the intercooler.
And then we test drive it?
Yeah. I don't think you saw this. I finished this yesterday.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So this is the upper mounts for the intercooler.
Okay.
So next is I have to unbolt it, take the intercooler out, remove the masking tape.
I was going to ask what's up with the masking tape.
So
I
we'll
didn't know if
scratch it
that
up,
was
put it in.
something. Okay.
And then down here is where I did all the relief cuts. So I have to take the masking tape off that and then smooth out the cut corners. And then I can put it back in.
That looks good.
It's a tight fit.
You made this last night or today?
Yeah, last night. So I just used some 1/2 inch wall stainless tube nut, and heim joint, and then I made a machined a spacer. That was actually Andrew's idea. I was going to use one here, but it's actually better like this.
Yeah, that looks good.
So yeah, so that will hold the intercooler in place. So I don't have to worry about that moving around.
Nice.
That looks really good on the polish it up.
Yeah, real good, honey.
I don't say so myself.
So good.
I gotta give you one of
Now,
those.
what's the difference between having something like this and having nitrous?
Nothing.
There is a difference.
The difference is you're using.
Once your nitrous bottle is empty,
You have to go refill it.
and if you can't refill
Look,
it because you're out at the
from my point of view,
racetrack-
these are the pros and cons. With nitrous oxide, it gives you the ability to enter into the game very cheaply. You can buy a 150 horsepower kit for a couple $100, do some fueling upgrades, and you're good. That's 150 horsepower, right? If you do it like the really, really nice way, you'll probably spend like $1,000. This is much more expensive. So the buying for this, you want to talk about $7-8 grand. That's a hell of a lot more. So if you want extra power and you're on a budget, nitrous is that is like the way to go. Now, if you start getting crazy and you want to start adding like 300 horsepower, it becomes problematic because you're on the ragged edge.
Nitrous or this?
Nitrous. You're on the ragged edge because there's too many variables, you know. Let's say you get you don't adjust your timing properly, or the rain gap is not sufficient enough for the shot that you're running, or you get a little crazy and you get a bad batch of gas, you run it too close to the edge. I mean, there's all kinds of crap that can happen. Generally, it's pretty safe.
Those issues can't happen with this?
It can. It's just with a system like this, it's more forgiving. So this motor, it already made 700 horsepower NA, right, naturally aspirated. And if you add, I don't know, 7-8 pounds on top of that, you're talking like 50% more power.
So can you add nitrous still to this? Or you don't do that
You could,
once
yeah.
you have?
You could. There's people that do. I mean, I wouldn't do that because that'd be kind of crazy. But at 7 pounds of boost, you're talking another 50%, so another 350 horsepower, right? On top of the 7, so you're talking like 1,050 horsepower for 7 pounds, which is not that hard. Now, you still have to tune it. You still have to be careful with the timing.
Are you talking about nitrous right now? Or
No,
are you
I'm talking about the blower.
Okay.
You still have to be careful. You got to make sure that there's not too much timing in it. You can't put, it's gonna be hard to run 1,000 pounds or 1,000 horsepower on pump gas. So you have to dilute it mix it with some race fuel. If you run E85, then you could definitely, do those numbers. So, I mean, there's danger in everything, in all the stuff. Nitrous is just a cheap way to enter into having more fun.
I guess my issue is if your nitrous bottle isn't full and somebody pulls up next to you and be like, hey, let's race, you have to say, oh, hold on, let me go fill up my bottle. Versus if you pull up with this, you're always ready.
Not necessarily. So I was going to get nitrous, right? But since I'm a procrastinator and I just waited too long, I decided not to get it. But if I was going to run nitrous, I would have a remote bottle switch. So basically there's a solenoid that you can buy that turns the bottle on by itself. Or not by itself, but actually from the driver's seat. I was going to buy that, a bottle warmer, and a nitrous pressure gauge on the dash. And I was going to have a standalone fuel system. So with all that being said, you're talking like $2-3 grand, right? But I wouldn't have had that problem because you hit switch, turn it on, no problem.
Okay, but once you're out of the nitrous, what happens?
But you're talking like...
So you would have a gauge and you would know when you're getting low?
Yeah, so you would have...
So you'd constantly have to refill the bottle.
So this is what you could do.
So you're deflecting.
No,
I'm talking about if, let's say you're at some car event for a week. There is no nitrous.
There is nitrous.
No,
most tracks.
Hold on. Let's say there's none. You have to come with what you have. Okay?
You bring 2 bottles.
You bring 2 bottles.
Yes.
Okay, but let's say you race beyond the 2 bottles. That's what
You call,
if you have nothing,
the nitrous king, and he'll come fill your bottles.
Whatever, dude.
There's never going to be a scenario where you can't prepare, right? So if you're going to go, like, say, I don't know. Don't they
That's
have
not
like,
true.
Like race week, right?
Okay, so let's say you're at race week. Now you're done. Race week is over. You're driving home. Somebody pulls up next to you and wants to race. You are out of nitrous.
No, because you've already been raced.
Yeah,
you already
your
raced
car-
out. You don't want to race anymore because you've been racing all week. So
No,
you're good.
you know what I'm getting at. The reliability of it.
Is there a chance that your stuff's not ready? Yes,
Yes.
but you should be racing on the street anyway. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying. I think nitrous is a good entry-level power adder.
Okay, but we're not entry-level status.
I'm just saying.
With
it's
our
a good
Chevelle.
It's a good entry-level power adder, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think if you
I
do
didn't
it,
say there's anything wrong with it.
if you do it wrong, you'll
It's
get...
not for us.
Well, obviously, because I got this.
Yeah.
But I did entertain the thought. Andrew has nitrous on his
My
quad.
man wins the races every time.
Oh, whatever. This is not the fastest car in the world. But
Yes, it is.
it's pretty quick. I just want to do it because I want to do it. And I've always wanted a blower, and there you go. You have a problem with that?
Yeah, you deflect the question.
I didn't deflect the,
Yeah, you
deflect the
did.
question. I didn't.
You did too. I'm going to go show Andrew. All right. Good job. It looks really good.
Thanks.
I just want to hear it.
What are you doing? I am machining down the altimeter pulley because it's slightly misaligned because the blower, the main pulley it's pushed back towards the engine. I'd say, I don't know, an additional 1/8 inch. So this is what I had to do. I was looking at the belt earlier, and the belt is kicked to the front of the motor just a little bit. So I took off this pulley, and there's a spacer here that I just got done machining. So this spacer spaces off the fan. So I took 80 thousandths off of it.
Okay.
So I took 80 thou off of it, and it's barely proud of the shaft. So, and this has a bevel on it. This thing's kind of beat up a little bit, but so that sits on there. So I still have pretty good clearance. Doesn't look like it'll hit. I might have to massage it a little bit, but so now I'm actually machining down the back side of the pulley to bring it in further this way. Cause remember we talked about cutting the back of the alternator down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't want to do that. I'd rather not. So I'm trying to get away with not doing that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on. So I'm almost done with this one. Looking pretty good. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Oh damn. Pretty sick. Damn, it's gonna be tight.
Yeah, it's sick.
What do you kids use it for? Sick? Is that what it means? Cool.
Cracked.
It's cracked? Is that the new thing?
Kinda, yeah. What? Some people say it.
It's cracked.
That's
Like,
cracked.
If that was sick, that's
Like,
cracked.
damn, that's cracked.
And he
Oh,
told
it's hella
me
funny.
not to get so distracted finding the alligator.
This one. Right here.
Mhm.
Looks a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't see. I couldn't see where the line was.
With this?
Mm-hmm.
Because
I had to line the.
Because you needed to put the took the lens out.
No, just right now. Before this
Why?
passed.
Why couldn't you see?
I couldn't see this one. The line.
How come?
It was too dark.
Oh,
and,
okay.
and the angle. See how this it
Yeah.
covers it?
Yeah.
I just couldn't see it.
Well, it's on shade 9.
I know. It was at 11.
Oh, okay.
And I just did this one.
That's good. Yeah, stainless is really important to keep the inner pass temperature down.
I wonder how much it moved.
Oh, who knows? Probably not. The thing is, it's gonna just butt against the
It's gonna
existing. Yeah, it's not gonna go crazy. If you had like big gaps in it, then it would move a lot. But I don't think it'll move anywhere near enough to disturb the pattern, the placement.
Mm.
What you doing? I know what you're doing. How are you doing?
Good?
Yeah?
It's
What do you
a
think?
lot of welds,
A
but
lot of well done.
yeah. Yep.
Is it more than you anticipated? Or you kind of knew?
I knew, but I didn't know how I'd feel halfway through.
How you feel now?
I'm tired.
Huh?
Tired.
Really?
Not really tired, but like, it's a lot of welds.
Imagine, well, I know you haven't been fully conditioned yet because you haven't had a job or like a 9 to 5, but imagine doing this all day long for like years.
I mean, it's not bad. I'd rather do this and go to school. Obviously, right?
Yeah, this pays more. Well, this don't pay nothing because you're doing it for free, but it's because it's the Chevelle, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. When do you think it'll be done? 2 hours?
Maybe.
About 2 hours? You looking forward to doing the other side?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I want to get this on.
Nice. This is gonna look freaking legit as hell.
I know.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, I would say I definitely pass all my skills to you. This is pretty good.
Thank you.
I'd say from a certified welder
Mm-hmm.
to a non-certified welder, this is a good job.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's cool. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many angles, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way you polished it up too.
Yeah, I like the oxidized look with
oxidation.
when after it's polished.
Mhm.
You know.
Looks good. Cool. All right, I'll get out of your way. Here's actually, so here's one of the tubes that Andrew finished. Let me turn the light on. So this is the downpipe coming off the actual Procharger. Can't see it that well, but kind of, let me get the camera in here. You can kind of see it in there. So then there's a V-band clamp that's going to be mounted here, because otherwise it's impossible to get the tube out of this tight space. And so that part's done. It came out pretty well. Let's see if I can see it from the outside. Let's see here. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, so the rest of it will look like that as well. Can't wait to see it actually finished. But that's where I am so far.
Okay. Just a few more, huh?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more.
How many welding hours has this been?
How many what?
Welding hours.
Like at least 4. Because there's another piece in there too.
This is nice tool. Where'd you get this?
That's Dad's. I don't know.
Did you make that, or is that what it's for?
No, yeah, well, kind of. It's kind of whatever you want it to be for.
Oh, it holds whatever. How is this connected
It's for the
to
mill
it?
though. What?
How is this being held? How is it connected? Through a bolt?
No, just it's a vise technically.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Comes in handy.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a rotary tube.
Cool. Pretty cool.
Or if you want to cut gears or bolt circles and stuff like that.
It's looking good. You try to get it done today?
This, yeah. This side.
So this and then it's done?
This side's done.
This side's, yeah. Maybe the other side. I think the other side would be a lot easier.
Oh, okay.
Right, Andrew? Think so?
Yeah, but it's a lot of welding still.
Yeah. You think you like welding?
Yeah. I do like welding.
Do you not like it, or you just want him to?
No, I do, but I've been doing it for 20 years or so. I've had my
20
share.
years or so?
Yeah. I've had my fair share. Now it's time for the next generation to take over.
What's that do? Sharpen it?
Yeah. 'Cause over time it kind of gets dirty.
And what is that?
Tungsten.
What's that do?
It's like an electrode. It just directs the current
Oh,
to
okay.
the. To
Who
the.
taught you all that?
Videos. Him.
Who's him?
The guy behind you.
So, Andrew, want to tell us what you got done so far?
So, I got.
Man, that's beautiful. It's like, I don't even know, man. It's like,
I got the driver's side charge tube done, and it's all welded, polished. Not really polished, but like,
just prep the surface a little bit.
yeah, just shiny. Just finish.
So yeah, that's super cool. Man, let me see what it looks like from this side. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's pretty badass. That type of stuff where you get out in the morning and go to the garage just to look at it. Some people think paintings are cool to look at for hours, but it doesn't have anything on this. Alright, so how's it look from the front? Okay. So we're gonna have one on the other side as well, right?
Yeah, it'll be symmetrical,
Okay, just like that.
just like that, but obviously it'll go.
It looks like you got it tucked real nice too from the bumpers. Let me see here. Oh yeah, looks really good. So it's basically touching the bottom of the radiator to tuck it as tight as we possibly can.
And then it's got a bracket so it doesn't like
Move
rub.
around. That's cool. It's a nice snug fit. Looks like it hangs about as low as a power steering pump. But nothing hangs lower than the sway bar, so that's good. Pretty cool looking. All right, man. All right, well, I guess this will conclude part 2. All right, it's Monday morning. Andrew finished up on the charge tubing last night. Looks like he did a pretty good job. I should say an excellent job. So that's the cold side, or I should say the hot side of the tubing. He got it all TIG welded up, mocked up in place. I'm probably going to change out the boots to silicone boots. They're a little bit more flexible and pliable. The car looks pretty crazy from the front. You can see both charge tubes from underneath the radiator. Obviously the right side's welded, the left side's not. He'll probably weld the left side when he gets out of school. Probably, I don't know, maybe sometime this week. But everything's pretty tight. Everything looks pretty good. Let's see, you can kind of see the power steering pump a little bit. These clearance properly. I got to put one mounting tab on this left side. But other than that, everything's pretty much where it's going to go. Here you can see the routing where the V-bands are placed, and the vertical tube. I had to take off the carb spacer, or not carb spacer, but the throttle body spacer, because it was the actual charge tube was hitting the top of the hood inside the circle here. So that kind of sucks, but whatever. I guess I don't need it anymore. I just like the way it looked. So I'll have to put new studs on the intake, and I'll have to shorten this fuel line here because I made it to accept the spacer, to fit with the spacer. So I'll have to do that today. Other than that, everything looks pretty good. Belts are on. Everything's where it's going to go. So now, today, what I'll do is I will pull out the intercooler, clean up the inside, and then prepare for final assembly. So fire this bad boy up. All right. That's it for now.